What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Cheat Code. It's yours truly, DJ Mike Marvelous of Marvelous DJs, Cheat Code. So today we're going to talk a little bit about backups, right? I joined a fantasy football league and we started to make our picks. We did our drafts and the backups started to come in mind, and it really made me think like, wow, I really have to have decent backups, especially for those bye weeks, or if something was to happen to my main quarterback, right? Or my main people on the squad, right? So it got me thinking about DJing and DJ gear. We also need backups, right? And backups come in many different forms, right? I'll talk a little bit about my backups and then we can post in the comments what you use for your backups on today's Cheat Code. Welcome back. So like I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about how we back up our equipment or have backups for our equipment in case something goes wrong, right? If you've DJ'd long enough, something will go wrong at some particular time, and it's your job to figure it out, right? And there's many different ways you can figure it out, but the best way is to just have a game plan beforehand. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of my game planning when I DJ, what I use for backups and my backup game plan. Let's get into it. A quick story. I used to DJ in the clubs. One day went to the club. We used to always have problems, and this was like early Scratch Live where the clubs had 1200s, they had a mixer, you would have to bring in your SL1 box, bring it into the club, plug it all in, maybe even you come in with your own stylus. I know for a fact I brought in my own stylus, and then you ran Serato, your control records or whatever. Well, this particular day, the turntables just were not calibrating correctly. One case, one was spinning the other direction, the other one just wouldn't read at all. And after many different tries, there was a couple different things we did. We switched the RCA cables. I think that worked for one of the turntables I was running backwards. If you switch the red and white to white and red and put it in reverse, sometimes that'll fix that reverse issue because it's just wired incorrectly. But the other one that was just not reading was just a no-go. So one thing that I use for a backup is internal mode. I can tell you that night was a rough night, but I DJ'd internal mode, and I got other DJs that can back me up on this. Sometimes you got to do that, right? We early stages, Serato in internal mode, rock the club. Internal mode is one way that you can go, but I say that you need to practice on DJing internally, right? So if you actually had to DJ internally, this is technically how you would do it. I mean, you would load the songs up on each track. Let's see, here I already got this on, so let me turn it off. So I found two beats. Let's go ahead and play this beat. You can use the play button, or you can use this as well. Let me slide the fader over. The fader generally is going to start in the middle. Everything is open. I'm hitting the number 1 on the keyboard to fire off this cue. All right. Also, a hot key for the keyboard is spacebar. For your track 1, you can hit spacebar and it'll play track 1. All right. So as that plays, you would search through, find your tracks. I found this track. All right. Oops, that's the same track. Let's go with beat 5. All right. Same thing here. This cue is 6 on your keyboard. All right. So if I wanted to, I can change the BPMs by clicking in the BPM and going up and down. That's one way of doing it. But it's an emergency, so if you don't want to use that, sync it, right? Hey, you mixing internally today. You're going to get the sync. All right. So when I'm ready, I can hit this play button. You see how it's off? You would use these plus or minuses to slow down the beat to match it up. All right, and then drag over the fader. And that's it. So you would just continue that. So you're literally mixing internally. I probably would make this larger. If I had to do this whole thing, I would change the view. But yeah, you're using your full controls. It would help if you had one of those little, if I had one of those sticky mats to go over top of my keyboard for the keyboard shortcuts. But you can actually mix internally if your system goes down. But again, internal mode. Practice, practice, practice. So that way you know if this happens, how do I DJ with one turntable? How do I DJ with one deck? Instant doubles is another way, right? If you got one of your decks go down and you need to mix, use instant doubles. And I'll tag that video here to kind of shine a light on how to do that, so you can go back and look and see how to use instant doubles when you're DJing. The next item is really just getting in touch with other DJs, right? Just having a pack that you know other DJs. They may not be at a gig at that day, and you should have multiple, right? You should know multiple. If you're a DJ, you should know other DJs. Now they may charge you, but if it's your homeboy, you might get away with it. But there's ways to do this, right? Network, be each other's backup. Hey, one day if you forget a chord or something goes down, give me a call. I'll run it to you, right? It happens. Be the first to help, not ask for help. Another more obvious thing you can do is have backup equipment, right? I've known some DJs to take their actual controller into the club. Even if the club says they already have one, you don't know who's already been on that equipment, what shape it's in sometimes. So you may want to have a backup. Maybe you leave it in your car. Maybe it's coming with you, right? I know we used to bring ours in because you leave it in the car and car get broke into, there goes your equipment, right? So you may want to have a extra controller if you got it like that, right? I do have a little cheat code today that I will show you all of what I used to use. But yeah, extra controller is always key. We can also talk about laptops too, right? If your laptop goes down, what do? Party's pretty much over at this point, unless you're using sticks, unless you're using CDJs where you have your information on your sticks or your songs on your sticks. You can plug those in and start playing, right? Always have a backup, like a phone or something like that that you can connect quickly, like an aux that give you time with a mixtape on it that'll give you some time to actually be able to troubleshoot and figure out what the issue is. Issues happen, be ready at all times. So here is my backup, right? Very small, something I can throw in a bag, something I don't have to lug around. DJ2GO2 by Numark works fine for what I need it for, right? If something goes down, I can use this and actually rock a party and get it done, right? It has your main output here, right? It has tempo adjust, right, on both sides. It does have jog wheels that do turn. Well, you can do that. It doesn't turn by itself. You can cue up using the headphone cues. You have your master levels, your track levels on both sides, your cue level here. Let's see what else it has. It does have the sync button, your cues, your play buttons, and it gives you 4 cue buttons. So you can cue up to four items there. So pad mode, you can change these pads. So right now it's in cue mode. You can go to auto, those are your auto loops, manual, and sampler, right? I usually keep it on cue. You also can browse through your catalog with the browse scroll wheel, and then you can launch or load those to decks 1 and 2. And then you have your crossfader, right? So you have everything you need to actually get it done. So if anything went wrong, here's my backup, right? I throw it in my bag, it's good, right? It's a little beat up because it just stayed in the bag. The only catch with the Numark DJ2GO2 is that you cannot use it unless you buy a subscription. You can't use it with the updated version of Serato, right? You have to use Serato Lite, which I'm okay with if you need to, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I also think, and this is for maybe better videos for my parents, is that if your child is looking to get into DJing, this is probably like the perfect start. I think this is maybe $89. There's various versions of a small mixer like this. It sits right on their laptop, and they can fool around with cues, they can beat match, they can learn the basics on this little machine. This is my hand, by the way. So as you can see, it's not very large at all. I think they've created it in this space to sit right on your laptop. So you can just put this on your laptop and actually DJ right with it right on your laptop. I take a lot on vacations. If I want to make a mix on long flights and things like that, or if I'm in the airport, I got a long layover, I'm bringing this and I'm making a mix. I think I did one of my mixes off of this on the balcony in Hawaii. So you don't want to bring some huge gear, or you just need to mix something up, or you want to create a quick remix. Numark DJ2GO2. It has kind of a scratch feature, not really. It will only allow you to scratch when the track is not in play, and I'll show you that. So if it was queued up and ready to go, I could scratch it a little bit, but if I let it go, the track won't go. You actually have to hit play. So some nuances to it, and I think that's more of a Serato light than anything, but I'll show you that, yeah, it's doable to be able to get some stuff done on here. All right, so here's my backup. So if something goes down, I'm DJing with this, and they won't know a lot of the difference, right? I think most of it will be internal, but you'll see, you know, if I had to use this, I could use this to beat match, I can use this to cue up, I can use this as the fader, right? So there we go. There's my backup. All right, so I'm going to show you how I DJ on the DJ2GO2 using Serato Scratch Lite, so Serato DJ Lite versus the Pro. I just want to kind of show you this is possible to DJ on, right? This is all I'm trying to show you today, right? So let's start off with the track. So like I told you earlier, you can kind of do a scratch, but it's only while the song isn't playing. Once I hit play, I can't go and scratch the track unless I turn it on, but I don't if I have the light version. So let's just go with it. All right, so again, see, I did it there. Trying to keep it steady here. Alright, so if I need to change the track, I could have did it with this. So as you can see, you can change the track. Let me pause this one, and I'll load it. A lot of cueing. I'm going to change the tempo. Most of y'all probably would have hit sync. Here we go. So I'm trying to DJ, hold this up at the same time, but effectively you can truly mix on the DJ2GO, right? You can blend some songs together. You can get through a couple hours gig on this, so don't hate on it. Look, so ultimately not the best situation, right? Something goes wrong with your normal gear and you gotta have a backup, whether you're running internally, whether you're calling somebody up to bring some gear, whether you're heading back home because you bought yourself some extra time, or whether you're whipping out the DJ2GO2 by Numark or any other smaller controller. The key here is to plan ahead, have a backup. I'm really interested to hear about what your backups are. If something was to go wrong, what are you carrying to your gig? Some people may say 2 laptops, right? Some may say 2 controllers. Some may say, I don't have a backup. You might want to start thinking about it. Comment below what you think is a good backup for your gear. Thanks again for watching. Yours truly, DJ Mike Marvelous, Cheat Code.